How would you comment the winning work? Why did you choose this particular ATM machine campaign?
I think we chose it for many reasons, but I think first and foremost, as we said earlier, it's because it made a statement. You know, for a brand to stand for something. You know, in the agencies we always say, you know, it's better to stand for something. You may have some people for you and some against you, but at least if you stand for something, you'll have some people for you. If you don't stand for anything, you won't have people against you, but you also won't have people for you. And that's always been the struggle in our business. And what this piece of work does is it stands for something. And it does it in a very smart, very clever, brave way. And they were rewarded for that. And they still have challenges. As you heard, some of the work was vandalized. But we need brands to make a stand for what they believe in and to have an opinion and not just become wallpaper. So that's one of for me, the biggest reasons it was such a powerful piece of work.
You had quite geographically and culturally diverse jury, and probably, you know, countries like Malaysia or Turkey that were represented in the jury. This campaign would not have been possible. So did you also discuss that cultural aspect there? So Australia being a liberal country, but you know, how would this kind of approach would work in other cultures?
Yes, absolutely. That was a big part of the discussion. In fact, particularly to send a message out to brands that we need to make statements like this, and even in countries where it's possibly perceived to be less open. But the point was raised that actually Australia is not as liberal as you'd think. Sure, within a certain enclave and a couple of neighborhoods, it's very open, but the fact that some of the entries were vandalized kind of shows you that there's still a very big problem to overcome.
Would this campaign have worked in South Africa? Would it have been possible to make it there?
Yes, I think so. We have a similar march, although the challenge with us is that our country is very decentralized. There's no sort of inner city per se. In Johannesburg in particular, in Cape Town it could certainly work. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a universal idea for sure.
There were some entries from South Africa also who got, I think, bronze awards in outdoor. So how would you comment with these campaigns?
Yeah, it was actually a silver for one of our outdoor campaigns. Yeah, it's fantastic to be recognized amongst some of the best work in the world. You know, we always hope we'd get something slightly better, but that's the nature of being dissatisfied. It's fantastic. It's really amazing to be recognized alongside some of the world's best work.
So what would be the recommendation for South African advertising industry for the next year if they want to submit their works? What should they do differently? Is the question of the work per se, or is it the question of the entry?
It's both. You know, every aspect of the work needs to be really well crafted, and I think you heard some of the comments that the categories moved on. We have to think about outdoor in a different way. You know, at one point I kind of felt like outdoor was becoming pollution, frankly, and now I leave here inspired to be able to do something remarkable and to engage people again, and that's exciting. That's our challenge for the categories, to use it in a way that engages people and connects them.
Some of the outdoor is becoming really complicated, like the technologically advanced, like the British Airways campaign, for example, that won an award in other categories as well.
Yes.
Does it mean that the agencies need to develop the skills of, you know, technology and build like labs in their basements to play with the new technologies?
I don't think you need to be able to literally develop the technology. Some agencies do have that capability. What you do need to know is how to use the technology to aid the idea. I think this mistake some people make is that they let the technology get in the way of the idea, and it becomes complicated. But actually, great ideas, the technology, you can barely notice it. It becomes kind of effortless. And that for me is the strength, when technology brings you closer to a human connection rather than further away. And you can find clever people to do that. You don't have to be able to do it yourself, but you have to understand how to bring the idea to life through technology, and that's something that we focus on a lot.
Okay, I'll build your badge as well, so. Okay.